Hey guys, welcome back to Robotics. This is a really independent class. This is a really self-driven class, self-motivated class, and there are a lot of times Mr. Segman and I say, go figure it out. Go find it out. Go do your thing. Where in the world? Where? What resources do you need? We're going to talk about resources today, things that are good for you to know, things that are great for you to know. All right. First place to look, if it's about first tech challenge, if it's about anything first, if it's about the game, the season, first of all, have you read the game manual? Did you read game manual too? Those are the first questions. Like, start there. And where do you start? Firstinspires.org. Firstinspires.org, robotics. Here we go. If you look through here, robot building resources, programming resources, team management resources, awards, scholarships, right? All those sponsors. But mostly you're going to come through here right to game materials. And inside game materials, look, game manual 1, game manual 2. This updates throughout the season. Be very careful with that. Check out and check on updates. If you need to know about the playing field, how to assemble the playing field, is that tape really in the right spot on the floor? Here are the guides, here are the dimensions. Did we rip the target that's on the wall? Print a new one right here. How to make all these things. How to reset the field and put the objects back where they belong and start out. Remote objects, because COVID year's a weird year, right? But beyond that, they've got the intro video. That's always good to know. That's got the one-page description. Everything's good there. The forum. The First Tech Challenge has a forum where you can actually log on as our team. You can ask questions and get the actual judge's answer. So if you think you've got some creative way to do two things at once, or is this legal? Because it's right on the line. I read the rules. Is it online? You ask the forum. And then the forum, periodically, every month or so, puts out updates to all the questions they've answered in a single PDF. That is now part of the rule book. Every question they've answered that's been updated, when you go to a tournament, if the judge says, no, the rule says this, and you can take politely, submit to the judge, here's the updated answer from the forum, see how this applies, and it's legal now. DIY resources, season resources, materials, how to submit the control award, how to do robot self-inspection. Don't go to a tournament and then sit there the morning of and realize your robot's outside the 18-inch cube, or you've got a wrong battery pack on there, or you're going to be disqualified, not allowed to compete. Do your self-inspection. All right, that's First Tech Challenge. Here's the forum. It's broken out into the technology, just the programming versus the game. If you want to talk about just the control hub here, and then the community, just an open forum. So we can click into here. So ultimate goal, that gets us to the game. It is a little bit of a maze in here, but it's important. So this is how to post. Robot build instructions, game rules, competition rules, field setup. All of these, it's just a forum. Questions are asked, questions are answered. It's all over there. We mentioned the game manuals that are official. Game Manual 1 and Game Manual 2. Game Manual 1 probably came out the spring or summer before school and your competition year even started. Game Manual 2 comes out in September with the game. Game Manual 0. This has nothing to do with first official. This is a project by a team. This is their outreach. This is the most comprehensive single-stop shopping information resource that there is. Okay? You can navigate this all sorts of different ways, but getting started, know the lingo, engineering design, rookie mistakes. But let's see, kit and hardware guide. What is this really good about? Why should you use a kit? So you just read through all this. Which kit do you want? So you want to talk about Go Builder? Okay. Look, it gives you the link. It gives you when it was introduced. It gives you the sizing, the kits, the specs, pros and cons on this, the kit of parts, the advantages. There we go. The disadvantages. Robots who have used this successfully at every level. And they compare that to Tetrix, Actobotics. They do that. So, tools. What tools should you have in the shop? Okay. Motors. Here we go. What's the difference in all these motors? What do we do with the gearbox? How do I find the right size motor and the speed? Servos. All of that applies. Robot design. robot design. Should we start with CAD or should we start building? What kind of chassis should I have? Should I have just a 4-wheel drive? Should I have 4 Omni wheels? Should I have an H drive or a mechanism drive or a slide or a tank drive or treads? What's going on? Should we use gears or chains or rollers? All of that is in here, pros and cons, the whole thing. When I say Game Manual Zero is extensive, there's thousands of pages in here to find. Arms and gears and drives, ways to get outside of the 18, passive intake versus active intake. What does that even mean? If you're new to this, you might not know the difference, right? So all of this, power of the electronics, the software, the awards, the appendix. Game Manual Zero is a huge resource to look at. All right, what's next? ORTOP. ORTOP. This is Oregon Robotics. All right, in fact, this is Oregon Robotics Outreach. They changed their website recently, since the last time I looked. So it's now a wiki style. That's fine. But there's a lot of stuff here. I want to tell you, I guess one of the main people in Oregon is Bruce Shafer. He's been the go-to blocks programming guy for years nationally. He produces the videos that are hosted on First's website, and he, I guess, resides in Oregon or works in Oregon. If you have been around this long enough, some of the same names you hear nationally, you find out. So there's Tom and Bruce Shafer, and there's several of these other guys. I even opened some of these up. So First, they have a link to First tutorial on blocks. That's right here. It's a GitHub. They're sample blocks. You can see how you start the control system, choose the blocks versus Java versus Android Studio. Then it talks about each of those, how to manage all this, advanced topics and troubleshooting. All of these things are right here. That's the first link they had. The blocks programming guide. This is something that First has put out. It's 100 pages. Honestly, the first 40 or 50 pages are literally how to wire the hub and the extension hub, the control hub and the expansion hub to the phone, Wi-Fi connect them to the phone. It's only the last half of this that talks about the blocks programming and how to achieve different things. But it is a very solid resource right here. So as I say that, we'll just grab this and scroll through. Hopefully it resets, refreshes. All right, there we go. So now it's talking about where to put things in a loop and where things are, the controllers, little facts that you might not necessarily know. When you push the joystick forward, the forward is actually -1. Backward is +1. So when that goes in your code, if you're talking about driving may feel reversed from your autonomous unless you know that little fact. Little things all the time. What else are we talking about? Blocks Programming Autonomous Mode Guide. That's what this is. First inspired. So how to make a good autonomous using your blocks. Good resource there. The other thing, yes. All right, we're back. Sorry for the interruption. Oh, here we go. We've got, this is the YouTube video. This is ORTOP here, linking videos for you to watch on how to do all of these things. These videos are from First. These are other videos. Now, I say these say they're from First. Some of them, these down here, were made by Bruce himself, so they're ORTOP, they're whatever. The only other thing here, so that's video tutorials there. All of this is great stuff from the ORTOP page. This blocks reference manual. If you really want to code, if you really want to know stuff, this blocks reference manual here from ORTOP, every single function in the blocks program is lined out. What it does, how you do it, what it's about. So let's get in here. Let's scroll through here. Color sensors. So let's get past the things. Okay, let's find one we're familiar with. Optical distance sensor, Android, those are all text to speech. We don't care. Here we go, acceleration time. So what you have is when you are programming in blocks, if you slide that wall out, the menu out, you have all of these different blocks you can click. That's what each of these is. This is the technical information of what you just clicked on. All right, so we're still in matrix telemetry. No, TensorFlow telemetry. So call telemetry.add data, key and a number. So if you put call telemetry add data and its key, it's the one that deals with the number. You put in a text value, you put in a number value. Description of what that block does. It sends the key and the numeric value back to the driver station for display. The next block down in the list, if you expand that menu from the blocks menu, would be call telemetry, add data, key, and instead of number, it says text. Well, you send the key and you send a text value back. Call telemetry update. It updates and refreshes the buffer so that it actually displays on the driver station. This is really good if you're expanding and learning about new blocks. It's a great place to look. All right, this shows us the videos. We're fine with that. Okay, where else can you go? Where else can you go? The vendors. Andy Mark, Rev, GoBuilda, Servo City, Pitsco. Pitsco is the Tetrix one. I didn't bring that one up yet. Andy Mark has all sorts of technical stuff on there. Not just, okay, how much would that new motor be if we wanted to buy it, but if we just go into First Tech Challenge here, they're saying these are essential products. But if I want to know about the ring, I click on the ring right here, and we wait for it to load up. Specifications, 3-inch diameter. It's 6-inch pounds per cubic foot of foam. Out here are the size. Here's the CAD file. Here's the PDF of how you do all of the detail files. If I opened up a motor from here, it would have all the specs and the CAD files way down here. All of these vendors do. So with Rev, if you forget how to connect the expansion hub and the control hub, just come in here, First Tech Challenge, and find that. If you need the instruction sheet for how to rebuild the chassis because someone disassembled it, you go to kits and you open up and you find the instruction sheet for the chassis. Well, not with Rev, with GoBuilda. We have GoBuilda chassis. We have Rev expansion hubs and control hubs. So we click on the electronics and we look through here and we know that the control system is what we're using. Hey, which set of cables do we need? Because these encoder cables are a pain because they switch. You'll see that they switch the wires from the motor to the encoder. Different brands cross their wires over in different orders. So if you're using a Never Rest motor or a Torquedo motor, those pins, the way order they connect to the motor needs to switch before they get to the rev hub. But they need to switch in different ways. So the same cable you use to plug one motor in will not work for another motor. Isn't that fun? We get to learn about all that. Here's how you build the chassis, instructions, all the pieces you could ever desire. Cool stuff. Servo City, we have these servo blocks right here. Robotics is a kit we don't have a lot of, but we do have those servo blocks because they keep those servos safe. But again, all the vendor websites work. Last big reference point, social media. Go out on YouTube. These teams, the good teams, put their stuff out there. They may not show you details of their robot. They may hide some of that. But especially this COVID year, most teams are putting out their data. They're filming themselves to show that they're being fair play. So here, week one, Cobalt Colts scored 130 points in this match. All right, so I watched this first match, 52 points. This is just real simple. What is their team doing? We should do research. We should scout them because this is a Missouri team. I know it's Overland Park, Kansas, but they play in Missouri. So if you go to state, you might be paired with them or you might be paired against them, and you need to see what they're doing. So they're autonomous. Watch this. So we're going to hit the power shots, 1, 2, 3. Then they're going to drop the wobble goal. And instead of parking on the line, they're going to go grab this other wobble goal, the second one, right there. And then they're going to, they missed it. Obviously, there are other scores later in the day. They get it. So they're autonomous. They attempt to do that, and they've got it. They can still have 3 seconds left for other things to do. They score more power targets. They score in the high goal. They do all this. You can watch all of these things. These are just some of the resources that you have. This is a really independent class. Go out and find where people are hosting their stuff. That's what you got to do. Find the data, learn about it. That's awesome.